Yeah, this fucking app won't load so I can turn this corny ass music off. Come on, PlayStation app. God damn it. Dun 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 dun. Oh my god, why did I press the wrong button? No more of that shit. Oh my god, that music will drive you crazy. It's good, yeah? What it do? What's up, everybody? Top of the morning to you.
Okay, so here we go. I'd like to introduce our main archaeological hero.
I just wanted to pull that video up on my list so I can come back to it later. What up, guys? What y'all getting into, man? Other than some art and education. I don't like that already, how that sounds.
Forster of Hidden Inca Tours, and today we're exploring
Yo, what it do, bro? Good morning, everybody. I've been up since about 5:30, 6 o'clock, doing some paperwork and filing some shit online and stuff, so still got more shit to do, but I was like, fuck that, I need to get in the studio for a minute. Yeah, I had to stop all that other shit. So boring. That shit's so boring. Like, I swear to God, I've been like just doing shit since fucking 6 o'clock this morning. About 3 hours, 4 hours. I hate the marketing aspect, the fucking paperwork aspect of a lot of, and all the business aspect of a lot of facets of the art world, but you gotta do that shit, man. If you wanna try to push a product and push an image and make yourself known, man, it takes a lot of typing. Jesus. I need a secretary for this shit. I ain't got time to be goddamn typing and shit for 3-4 hours. Filling out forms and all kind of shit. I'm gonna be back working on this piece right here, yeah. Lucid. Alright guys, like I said, I've been up all morning and just did a bunch of online shit. I really want to hop right into this fucking painting. This fucking studio stage junkie, I swear I cannot keep this shit like halfway organized for shit. What up, peoples? So I'm working on the skin tones for this piece right here. Skin tones, yeah, I'm working on them skin tones. Exile, what up? Yo, so Boston. What it do, guys? Good morning. Trying to see if I can get some of that glare off of there. It's coming along. So you can kind of see right around here, right where I stopped with this layer of paint. This is the third layer of paint. So right around her top lip, her lips themselves, and along the side of her face and her forehead, I'm still applying some paint. So I'm gonna start working in this area right here, around this eye a little bit, and start adding some highlights to her lips. Oh man, this shit far from being done, bruh. You can really see how much darker the hand is now since I've added some highlights to this portion of the face. How dark the hand looks in comparison. But it's not a lot, because that's the only skin you can see is her face, you know, just one ear and her neck and her hand, and everything else is there is no other skin showing. So no commercial. Let's not do the commercials. So yeah, so this, it's not going to be super fast, but it'll be a whole lot faster than a lot of other pictures, I say, because her skin she has a really fair colored skin, like some buttercream or something, you know, like she's that real nice red bump. So, you know, just lighten her up a little bit more, get those highlights to look natural on the bridge of her nose, around her cheek here and her chin, and get some more highlights on her hand. She looks like Rihanna, doesn't she? I keep thinking it to myself too, though. Like, yo, she looks like Rihanna, yo. Yo, she's fine as hell, yo. That's what I see the picture. I was like, oh, let me paint that. I hit the photographer up. I was like, yo, I seen some stuff you did with this model, yo. Let me paint that. He was like, go ahead, man. I was like, hell yeah. Yo, shorty fine as hell. Yeah. And y'all know how it be. Yeah. Up early in the morning in the studio, I be doing my thing. We got Mr. and Mrs. Boston, Pharaoh, Exile. Oh, it's the whole gang, yeah. Cause you know Hawk is in here, man. Yo, you know Hawk is in here. And then since Hawk is in here, all big man niggas, there is no fear. So don't come near if you can't revere the shit that you see and things that you hear. Cause it's all actual, factual knowledge, intelligence trying to bless you with. Ooh, man, yeah, it's the whole gang. Fuck that, man. Yeah, the whole gang. Let me stop. I got everybody here, yo. Good morning, peace, everybody, yo. Everybody, the gangs is back, yo. The gang is back, yo. That's why them other streams can't fuck with this right here, yo. Cause we the realest, yeah, we be the realest. That art and education bring nothing but the trillest ones out. Yeah, the trillest, and we be the realest, and we be the realest. That art and education bring nothing but the trillest. I'm telling you, yo, this, hey, I got the realest viewers. I got the whole gang in here. Oh, you already know what time it is. Breakfast by the bubbler. I gotta get an appetite for that second breakfast. It's already getting late. I should have been ate something else by now. No commercial. See, they throw them real short commercials in there you can't fucking skip. That shit'll still get you fucking banned, yo. Sooner or later, they're gonna fucking shut down this channel again, yo. I already know it. It's all good. We about to hit 1,000 subscribers, though. You know, I'm over 900 subscribers, so that'll be some shit. Just bragging rights right before they shut this shit down. So what, bitch? Art and Education had 1,000 subscribers, motherfucker. I done reach 1,000 people with this shit. In an hour and a half. I might Honestly, I ain't even gonna lie, yo. Like I said, I've been up since like 5:30. I think I might snack right before I start this painting. Chill for a little minute. Hold up. Like I said, I wish I would have been started painting already. I should have been brushing, but I was doing shit on the fucking internet forever this morning. Like, fuck. Yo, we got Shaman in here too. What up, bro? Good boy. Yo, this shit right here is like a candy apple. This shit right here tastes like candies, yo. It's fucking sour strawberry flavored raisins. How they make raisins taste like sour strawberries? Tastes like little fucking candies. And then you eat an apple with that shit at the same time. It tastes like a candy apple. Swear to God, yo. What, the doctor gave you the okay to lift heavy weights again? This motherfucker couldn't lift a gallon, nothing heavier than a gallon of milk for the past couple months, yo. And Shaman not at work. What? Let me look outside. Make sure it ain't about to snow out this bitch. Yo, the sun made sour strawberry golden raisins, yo. These shits is the fucking bomb, yo. Swear to God, yo. Tastes like fucking candy. So good. Not heavier than a gallon of milk. Might re-injure yourself. Doc said, go ahead, man. Go back to the gym. Get them muscles back strong. That's what it is, bro. Bless the goddamn speedy recovery. Goddamn. try this shit if you high, yo. I ain't even gonna lie to you. There's some real hot shit right here. But it's healthy. It's healthy high shit, you know? Well, that gym life is where it's at, boy. I'm getting old, man. I gotta try to preserve myself. I'm doing all with the late nights and running around and heavy drinking and extra heavy smoking. I'm done with that shit. All the fried food and fast foods. I'm already close enough to degenerative heart failure and I'm close enough to diabetes and everything else as it is. I'm gonna just try to preserve this shit right here as much as I can. Eat me a little bit more fruit and greens and work out a little bit more. And drink me a little bit more water. You know? Bruh, I'm feeling a little certain shit. I'm 37, you know what I'm saying? So I feel, I can just imagine in 15, 20 years, you know what I'm saying? My feet be hurting, my back be hurting, all kind of shit. I gotta scratch my elbows out sometimes. I pop my shit be popping like pow, like what the fuck? Gotta keep my joints all lubed and fucking loose and shit, man. I ain't trying to have all that arthritis and hunchback and all that shit, man. Fuck all that shit, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Better try to preserve that. Whatever you got right now, preserve the hell out of that shit, bruh. Change a little bit of change in your diet, a little bit of exercise. That shit don't hurt nobody. That shit help. That's all it do. You know what I'm saying? Instead of frying the chicken, take the skin off the chicken, bake the chicken. You know what I'm saying? Don't put it in the grease. You know? Instead of having mac and cheese every time, have some goddamn broccoli with that shit or some spinach. You know what I'm saying? Or some beans and rice. You know what I'm saying? And don't drink 2, 3, 4, 5 sodas every day. Shit, I'm this old and I still get fucking acne. And I don't drink a lot of fucking sodas, yo. I just got badass skin, yo. That's just, I mean, I got body acne. Like, I thought when I was like 21, I'm like, all right, I'm grown, this acne will go away. Nah, when I was like 30, I'm like, all right, I'm getting older, this acne will go away. Like, nah, like, I'm just cursed with acne. So I really try to stay away from a lot of extra sodas and shit, yo. That shit just fucked with me real bad. One of my little cousins got that shit, her shit worse than mine, and I be feeling so bad for her, yo. Like, all the skin creams and cleaners and just, that shit, I don't know. It's a lot to do with your diet, too, though. Young man. I'm about to crack it. Damn. The greens and that fish got that good fat in it, man. Fish got that good fat. That's why bears love salmon. You know what I'm saying? They got that good fat, yo. That fish healthy for you, man. Chicken, turkey, fish. But I do drink sodas, but I only drink ginger ales. You know what I'm saying? They have their sugar in it, but it doesn't have a lot of the coloring and artificial flavors and shit like that, like a lot of them other sodas do, man. Like, and the shit that I get be like the good ginger beers and good ginger sodas. And it's a soda, got a lot of sugar in it, but it got a lot of ginger in it too, yo. And ginger's good for your gut, for your good bacteria in your gut, yo. So that's the only kind of soda I really drink is something with ginger in it. What up, everybody? Yeah, we got a couple of viewers in here. It's weird how they make you look for the playroom now. For the PlayStation room, it's like you actually gotta search that shit. I was watching a couple of people yesterday. I was watching Lara Croft. And then there was this other dude streaming, and the name of his stream was Croft is a noob, or Croft is a douche. It was some dumbass shit. I'm like, dude, you made a stream dedicated to hating on somebody else. I'm like, what the fuck? Because at first I really couldn't believe. At first I thought it was Croft, and then I'm like, wait a minute. I clicked on that shit, and it said Croft is a noob or something. I was like, oh man. My wife, I don't know, I used to like watching PlayStation Room, but a lot of people don't motherfuckers just don't stream no more. Like one of those fads. Motherfuckers run out of creativity. Run out of creativity, creative shit to do. Whereas I'm always working on the painting. Another one. What time is it where you at, man? Good gravy. I can see a beer in the morning. I can see a beer for breakfast. This man said some vodka. The fuck, you Russian? Holy shit, this motherfucker. You Irish? What is you doing? What you playing on the Xbox, yo? I gotta get my gold membership on the Xbox so I can play online. I got State of Decay 2, and it's a fun game. It's a pretty fun game, man, but I don't know a lot of people who got it, and then I was playing it like with random people. Xbox community weird as shit. Like nobody don't want to fucking talk and communicate. I was trying to just jump in random games and help people out. You know, I'm like, yo, let's go this way, and motherfuckers won't even talk. I'm like, Xbox guys, you fuckers are weird. So anyway, I was playing that shit for like a week, and then my fucking membership ran out because I don't hardly ever fucking play my Xbox. And then I was like, after my membership ran out, I was like, fuck it, I just ain't never turned that shit back on since, yo. But I got State of Decay 2, and I'll get other games on there, except I don't hardly know nobody with Xbox, and there ain't no real fun games like Xbox exclusives to play, man. Everything is good on Xbox. I can get that shit on the PS4. I got 3 PS4 Pros and 1 Xbox One. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's weird, man. I be wanting to play that shit though. Xbox is a bad word in my flat. Damn. damn, that's an ass of Sony equipment, yo. This the only hard copy game on the Xbox One I got in the fucking house, yo. Everything else is like digital downloads. I traded everything else in. This shirt here was corny as fuck, yo. I swear, it was like, it was good for like an hour. And then after the first hour, man, shit was so fucking repetitive. It's like, really? That's all you got? It's like you keep doing the same exact moves. It would look good and everything. The mechanics were good, but I couldn't even finish that fucking game. It was so fucking repetitive. And then I actually do like the fucking Xbox controllers, yo. I ain't even gonna lie, yo. Because I was a big Sega fan back in the day. And the Dreamcast is probably my favorite console. And Xbox, well, Microsoft basically stole the Dreamcast controller for their platform. They made that shit was real big to start with, but it's still the same layout from the Sega Dreamcast. This is the, you know what I'm saying? And they're the Xbox controllers, whatever the fuck they make this shit out of, yo. It's way more durable than Sony. Like their plastic, even the shit they use for their thumbsticks. Like this shit is, I don't know, that shit is made out of fucking like NASCAR tire rubber or something. And I don't know, their sticks have that nice indentation in it, that little dip right there, like your thumb sits right in that shit. And their triggers vibrate. Like, this is a good controller. Yeah, I wish I could play the fucking PlayStation with this controller. I think Sony actually is making a controller like this. Are there like some off-brand company that has a PlayStation controller that's set up like this right here, yo? Alright, I had one 360 back in the day, and as good as the PS3 had dropped. And I got my 360 before the PS came out too. 3 PS4s, 1 PS4 Pro, a Vita TV, 2 PS3s, and 2 PS2s. God damn. Yeah, the PSPs. I don't think we got no handhelds. Like I said, we got, right now we got fucking 3 PS4 Pros, an Xbox One, a Wii, motherfucking, and that's it. Oh, and one PS VR headset. We had 2 Xbox Ones. I sold one of them shits just because we don't play them motherfuckers. We had 2 VR headsets. I sold one of them bitches because we don't really play them motherfuckers. Like, literally, like, just the headsets alone is like $1,200 worth of equipment just sitting there. It's like, what the fuck? It's fun for a little while, man. For real, that shit get me with motion sickness. I ain't even gonna lie, yo. A lot of that shit, yo, that shit make me nauseous. It's fun as hell to play that shit, man. But like 40 minutes, like 30, 40 minutes in that shit, man, my fucking head, you get a headache like in the back right here. And it's weird, like you feel nauseous at the top of your stomach. And a weird little tinge in the back of your head, like, cause you sitting still. And you really, I don't know, it's like you just gotta get used to that shit, yo. Like them fucking y'all ever seen them drone races, man? I can't even understand how these motherfuckers' brains is wired, yo. They put these goggles on and the cameras on the fucking drone, but they going like 30 miles an hour, up, down, flipping, doing all this shit. Like, that shit don't get these motherfuckers motion sickness, man. I'll be throwing up all over the place from that shit, yo. Man, I think I might get I keep thinking about getting a Nintendo Switch too, yo. Not 2 ColecoVisions. And it's not the Sega CD. I had the Sega CD, the Sega Saturn. I ain't had the Sega 64. I had the Sega Dreamcast. I had the Genesis. motherfucking the Game Gear. Yo, I was Sega, yo. I was like really like fuck Nintendo. I had a Nintendo. I don't think I had the Super Nintendo. Oh, I think we got a GameCube in the closet too somewhere. We do got a GameCube, but of course I had the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. But man, I was fucking Sega, bro. Sega was my fucking shit. The Switch, yeah. My cousin got the Switch. Yo, I played that shit with him. Uh, we played Mario Kart against each other. Yo, the first time I pick up the sticks, right? First time I pick up the sticks on Mario Kart, I came in second place. Like just by a little teeny bit. I told him like, motherfucker, this is my game right here. Don't think you gonna beat me by a lot. And the only reason he beat me, cause he hit me with a turtle shell at the end, yo. Got lucky. I told him, boy, that's the first time picking up the sticks on the fucking Switch and damn near smoked his ass. Like, come on, bro, I grew up on this shit right here. And then, well, I'll get that shit just for Zelda and Mario Kart, yo. Just when cause I got family. Well, I'm away from all my family, so if I go see people, I gotta travel. I gotta drive, motherfucking 5-6 hours or get on the plane or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking like I'll get the Switch just for goddamn road trips. Get that motherfucking Mario Kart. Toot toot. I'm telling you, yo. Yeah, Mario. I get that shit just for Mario and Zelda. What do you think of the new Superman? Or the new Spider-Man? I don't know, man. The game footage, that shit look hot as shit. I ain't gonna lie. But I ain't never really been a fan of like superhero games. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so cliche and they kind of go along with whatever current movie is out, but then not really. And then most of the time, they only put the game out because the movie came out, and not because it was just a major standalone project. So they just try to push the games to go along with the fucking films just for extra merchandise and shit. So sometimes superhero games be lacking because of that simple reason, So I don't really invest a lot of money. I think when that new Spider-Man do come out, I'm definitely the end of the year, the last quarter of the year is going to be booming. There's several hot games coming out, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of just watching people stream and see what's cool and see what's not. I was watching motherfuckers play goddamn Final Fantasy got a PvP mode on that shit. I was watching motherfuckers play that shit like 2 o'clock this morning. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, that shit was looking crazy as hell. But goddamn, what we saying? Microsoft versus Sony? I don't know. Like back in the day, it was like you said, it was ColecoVision and Atari. They little rivals, and then it morphed into Nintendo and Sega and they little rivals, and I really think Sega was just too advanced for their time. That you can put the Dreamcast online. I think that was one of the first consoles ever you can have online gameplay in like the mid 90s, early. But that's when the internet first came out. Like nobody really had the fucking internet or had access to that shit, but they console was already ready for that shit, and it was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That shit was just like too fucking advanced. You know what I'm saying? And they just they fell off after the Dreamcast. All like they CDs, like Sega was the first company to actually use a compact disc and had live action footage in their fucking video games. But then after that little rivalry kind of fizzled out when Sony stepped into the arena, and then Microsoft stepped into the arena, and Microsoft basically stole Sega's platforms because Sega stopped making consoles and just made games. But Nintendo has always kept its niche. Like Nintendo is for kids. That's initially what gaming was for, is for like, well, I don't know, like I gotta look more into the history of gaming actually, because and towards like the target market, because it seems like before like the arcadey shit that wasn't really meant for kids. Like adults were into that shit too. It was a weird time in the 70s and the 80s, But like the console, I think Nintendo really geared their product towards kids, and they have always stayed that way. And they make a family friendly product, and they know their niche, and Nintendo stays in their lane, and they have a steady sales record. You know what I'm saying? But over the years, other companies have grown more adult as the industry has grown. Just like me, I was playing games when I was 7 years old. I'm still playing video games now. And, you know, and the same thing is with the people who make video games. They're older gentlemen who've been playing video games their whole lives, and they put more mature adult content in their video games. And most of the fucking good shit on the market is, you know, 18 and up, you know, just to fucking and play that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Just to even buy that shit. What, Days Gone and The Last of Us 2? That's what I think yeah, Days Gone is pushed back to next year. I think they're gonna put The Last of Us 2 out in November, September or November, and but that's what I'm saying. The Last of Us is a Sony exclusive. Like, yo, all of Naughty Dog. Like, you can't get that shit on Xbox. you can't play that shit on Xbox, man. Like, it's crazy, yo. Bro, that's it. It's just like it's interactive art. It's interactive storytelling. Like, I love that shit. As long as that shit got a good ass story. The Last of Us is a perfect example. Like, those are the games I really seek to play. Like, I like online gameplay, but once again, I come from a generation where it just wasn't there. You know, you played video games that had good stories, and it had a beginning, a middle, and end. They had, you know, a set protagonist and an antagonist, and it was like an interactive movie, an interactive theatrical play. You know what I'm saying? And you played a character through these different events. And now some games don't even have story modes. It's just a bunch of character builds, and you just fight each other online. And that's cool, and I do that shit a lot too. But like, I like the Metal Gear Solid type, Resident Evil type, Final Fantasy type shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Red Dead Redemption, fucking Last of Us 2 type shit. Those are the fucking games I like to play. Watch Dogs type shit. Yeah, I just finished playing Watch Dogs 2 the other day. And there's an online mode of that shit too, and online features, but just the story for that shit, you know what I'm saying? It has a good story all the way through that shit, yo. And Spider-Man, like I say, it looks good. It looks really good. They keep showing a lot of fight scenes where you're actually controlling the Spider-Man avatar, and he does a certain move, and how the camera pans in and goes from your control to, like, you know, a cut scene of the action real quick, and then gives you back the control. I like how they're doing that more and more. It kind of really immerses you in it more, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like how Heavy Rain and what studio did Heavy Rain? Quantum Dreams or something like that. But just how Heavy Rain and how Detroit Become Human play out, where you control the character, you look at something, it gives you feedback, but it seems like the Spider-Man is doing that, but in a more dynamic, more fluent way with the action and stuff. So, like I say, it looks, the shit that I've seen from that Spider-Man, yo, it looks good. I'm not gonna cop that shit right off the bat. I got my hardcore titles that I like. I'm a fucking I'm a Battlefield man. I love the Battlefield series. Even, Battlefield Hardline. Battlefield 1 is like, God. Ooh, man. But I have to get Battlefield 5. I just got to do it. I got to get Battlefield 5. And I got to get The Last of Us 2. And I think that'll hold me over for a while. Everything else that comes out, I'll just fucking watch other people play that shit. And like I say, there's so many good games coming out between the last quarter this year and the first quarter next year. It's like 6 or 7 dope ass games gonna be coming out. I can't get all them shits, man. It take too much time away. Art in the dark. What up, bro? Oh, No Limit. What? Hello? No Limit Studios. Damn. That's what I'm saying. Like, Quantum Brink, like, Beyond Two Souls. I missed that. Beyond Two Souls, that's the same studio, too. Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human. What studio is that? That is Quantum Brink? No, Quantum Brink was a game. It was a game on the Xbox. The name of the studio is Quantum Dynamics. It's Quantum something. Quantum Dream or Quantum Dynamics. Quantum Dreams? Okay, that's it. Quantum Dreams, yeah. Damn. I'm interrupting this man. Football, you know I'm important. God damn, this motherfucker's like... What Trap say? The football announcer. What Trap? Oh, Trap. Quantum Dreams. Football announcer. What that? All right, hold up. Damn, this motherfucker got me on with his football, bro. I feel kind of... Shit. I feel kind of important right now. I feel kind of special, you know? That's some shit right there. Damn. Not even meaning to give me a compliment, and I'm taking that as a compliment. Oh, it's halftime. No, he gotta take it back now. Nah, nigga, it's halftime. I don't have to have all my attention right now to the game. They was just talking about some bullshit. It was a girl announcer anyway. Sexism, my bag. English football is like real football because they use their feet to move the ball around. American football, they hold the ball like this. And there's only one guy on the entire team who can actually kick the ball. One guy who can kick the ball, and they call it football. The other countries, everybody on the team can only kick the ball. They can't touch it with their hands. There's only one person on the team who can actually hold the ball with his hands and throw it with his hands. Never fucking made sense to me. That's why I don't watch sports. Shit doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, soccer. Why do you call it soccer? What the fuck does soccer even mean? I mean, you put socks on your feet. I'm trying to put some kind of logic in. I don't know what the fuck the real definition, root word origin of soccer is. Like, what the fuck does it even mean, soccer? It's fucking football. They got a ball. They're kicking it with their feet. It's fucking football. Why are you calling it soccer? Oh, because we call our sport football. You're not using your feet. That was a 5-minute rant for no reason. My bad. No, Americans are stupid. That's why we do shit like that. It's the dumbest. That's how dumb we are. Football team got one kicker. They got one kicker. They call the whole sport football. They got one kicker on the team. The whole sport called football. Soccer, only the goalie can touch the ball with his hands. Everybody else got to use their chest, their heads, and predominantly their feet. And so it's called football. It makes sense. American football, the name of it, doesn't even make sense. It doesn't. Call it what it is. Pigskin handball. You know, tossy ball. Or something else. Even rugby don't call their shit football. You know what I'm saying? It's rugby. Because they're rugged. They don't use pads and helmets. Rugby. Call this shit something else, man. Jesus Christ. America. We do it wrong till we get it right. Secessory? Secessor. Right? I don't know. Tossy ball. Don't call that shit football. Call that shit what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because you can toss the ball all you want. If you toss it behind you, you toss it to the man in front, pass it this way, you hand it off to this man, and they run. Call it catch, run balls. I don't know. Even baseball has a more appropriate name than football. Kickball looking ass. There is no debate. But that's how dumb Americans are. They will even debate that shit. They will debate the fact that it's debatable. Well, look, man. If you make a sport, you can call it whatever you want to call it. That's the bottom line. If you want to call it fucking football, you can. Yeah, I can see how that goes. And they get so heated in it, like, you know. Dallas Cowboys! This motherfucker. Share ball looking ass. Hit ball. Stick ball. You know what I'm saying? Pass ball. Let's call it goddamn you can call it rough ball, or you know, some kind of goddamn anything but football. That shit don't even make sense, man. Full contact sports ball. I don't fucking know. Brain damage ball. You call that shit cow ball. You call that shit Dragon Ball if you want to. Anything. But you're not using your feet. One man gets to kick the ball. I don't think the whole sport should be called football. You know what I'm saying? And this dude barely comes out. How many appearances does the kicker make? 4 times a game. You know how many? You know, 5 times a game. For how long? This motherfucker come on the field for like 2 minutes. Then he's back off the field. Come on, man. Change the name of this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. Full contact pigskins. Concussion ball. That's it right there. That's it. Concussion ball. That's what you call that motherfucker right there. Concussion ball. I drank all my water? Damn. Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying? Catch me. What's that? Kill the Man? Y'all ever played that shit, yo? You just goddamn define an end zone, and the motherfucker take whatever ball you got, throw that shit up in the air. Whoever the bravest man is, try to catch that shit and get to the end zone. Everybody else try to kill his ass. Kill the man. Y'all ain't never played that? Very dangerous sport as a kid, especially if you ain't that big. I wouldn't never catch the ball. I just like hitting the motherfuckers who did get that bitch. Call it that shit. You know what I'm saying? Mud ball. AstroTurf. Full contact AstroTurf sports ball. Concussion ball. That was a good one, ain't it? That was a good one. Concussion ball. That's it. You got it. You kick the ball off, you know, after the touchdown, whoever score a point, you know, they get their kicker, kick the ball off, dude try to run it back, try to run it down the field, run it down the field, run it down the field. If they can't get close enough, call the kicker back out. He gonna try to kick it down for the punt, like if he close enough for a field goal. Once again, this motherfucker be on the field maybe 4 or 5 times a game for 2 minutes. Come on, bruh. How the whole sport name after you? The whole sport name after you? They should call this shit quarterback ball. Anything. The quarterback, this motherfucker, one of the key players, they call this shit running back ball. But the kicker, they call it football? Come on, man. You don't even be out here like that. And nobody don't even like the kicker. Word. What's his name? Nobody know who? Troskowski. Who the fuck is that? Oh, he's the kicker. Oh, that guy. Man, nobody don't even know you. Biaka Patuka. What the fuck he do? He the kicker. Oh. Do they got different kickers for punts and field goals and kickoff returns? Or is that the same kicker? It don't matter, because you need to do something else too, man. You need to be like the water boy on top of that, because you be sitting down a lot. What you doing while you sitting down? Man, you need to be getting clean towels, Gatorade. You need to make yourself useful. The whole sport name after you. You need to be doing something else. Oh, because most people don't like this shit, man. Shit be too real, man. People come here and get their feelings hurt. Simple as that. I tried to troll that dude. He turned that shit all the way around on me. I don't like watching his stream. He just talk about science and stuff.
If, as the old adage has it, the first casualty of war is the truth, then it follows that the first battle of any war is won by lies. Lies have always been used to sell war to a public that would otherwise be leery about sending their sons off to fight and die on foreign soil. In times long past, this was easy enough to accomplish. A proclamation by a king or queen was enough to set the machinery of war in motion. But in the modern age of democracy and volunteer armies, a pretense for war is required to rally the nation around the flag and motivate the public to fight. That is why every major conflict is now accompanied by its own particular bodyguard of lies. From false flag attacks to dehumanization of the enemy, here are all the examples you'll need to debunk a century of war lies. This is the Corbett Report. In 1915, the RMS Lusitania, a British ocean liner en route from New York to Liverpool, was sunk by a German U-boat 11 miles off the coast of Ireland. The ship's sinking, which resulted in the death of 128 of the 139 Americans aboard, became a symbol of German evil and helped psychologically prepare the U.S. public for their country's eventual entry into World War I. A facet of the story of the Lusitania, as it has been presented to the public, was a deliberate lie or a lie by omission. It was not a purely civilian vessel carrying 3,813 40-pound unrefrigerated containers of cheese and 696 containers of butter, as the official manifest held, but gun cotton, in keeping with the shipment's stated destination, the Royal Navy's weapons testing establishment. It was not sunk by the German torpedo boat, but by secondary explosions from the munitions the ship was illegally carrying. Not the victim of a cowardly German surprise attack, the German embassy placed a warning notice about the Lusitania in 50 American newspapers right next to Cunard's own listings. And the American ambassador to England at the time, Walter Hines Page, wrote to his son 5 days before the ship was sunk, asking, "If a British liner full of American passengers be blown up, what will Uncle Sam do? That's what's going to happen." The official cover-up of the incident conclude that the dastardly Germans had waged a perfidious sneak attack on an innocent peace boat, of course. And the rest, as they say, is history. A little over 2 decades later, America's entry into World War II came when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in December 1941, killing over 2,400 American servicemen and civilians. But far from an unprovoked sneak attack, as the official government-approved history would have you believe, Pearl Harbor is best understood as a
It is. It is. And even, and that's the thing, like, they try to get you from every fucking angle now. Because if you try to grow your own food and grow a garden, they still chemtrail the shit out of every fucking thing. It's like, what the fuck, bro? You cannot get away from this. You got cancer. You're gonna die. You know, you're gonna get cancer. You're gonna get prostate cancer. You're gonna get ovarian cancer. You're gonna get breast cancer. You're gonna get thyroid cancer. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get colon cancer. You're gonna get some form of fucking cancer, bro. This shit is unnatural. Our rate of cancer globally. Our diets are fucked up, and even when you think you're eating healthy, you're not, because there's fucking pesticides and genetically modified fruits and vegetables. Is like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What are they doing to us, man? Why are they doing this? You know? Seedless grapes. How the fuck the grape supposed to come back if it ain't got no seeds in it? Seedless watermelon. How the fuck I supposed to grow a watermelon if it ain't got no seeds in it? Seedless oranges. They gonna make everything fucking seedless, so you can't grow your own food. And a simple fact that it doesn't produce seeds tells you it's Frankenstein. That shit ain't natural. That shit from a laboratory. Man, I'm telling you, bro. It's so hard to get away from this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you try to eat chicken, turkey, fish, but where your shit come from? Some goddamn farm raised salmon. The unnatural shit. They done modified the fish so they don't stop growing. Motherfucker done took the gene out that regulates their growth. Now these motherfuckers grow like their whole body of fucking cancer. Grow them bitches fast. The chickens do the same thing. pump their ass up with growth hormones, and the beef got recombinant bovine growth hormone and that shit. Gotta grow it faster. Gotta grow it faster. Make it fatter. Feed more people. And then in America, what we do, take 2 bites off of that shit and throw the rest of it in the trash, because we the most wasteful nation in the goddamn world. Throw that shit away. I hate when I throw shit away. It's such a bad fucking habit, yo. I just look at 2 or 3 fries and be like, I gotta eat them shits. You know what I'm saying? Eat it all water. Just because we so fucking wasteful, man. It's programming. If you can't see that, even the way we eat and how we treat our food and how our food is processed and given to us, if you can't see the programming in that alone, you know what I'm saying? And that alone, if that shit don't tell you something ain't right, you ain't gotta talk about aliens and spies with Russia and all of that shit. Just look at your food, man. What the fuck they doing to your food? Who eat this? Everybody. Your kids gotta eat this shit. America's great. Really? Do you know what you eat? Tell me your country great. When they give you this food, yellow number 9, red 47. Yeah, throw this shirt away for what? Man, we about to sell this shirt. What you talking about? Somebody else can wear this. Be recycled, reused. Do I smoke or drink what? How we on the same level with chicken, cows, etc.? We've domesticated these animals, taking them completely out of their natural existence and harmony with nature to the point where they wouldn't be able to survive anymore. If you just let cows, if you let farmers leave they cows, what's gonna happen? Motherfuckers would die because they don't know how to fucking survive, yo. You know what I'm saying? How we on the same level with chickens and cows and shit? Weed and liquor? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't even know how to answer that question. Fight me. You just straight coming here for the first time asking me some real personal shit like that. You gotta get to know me first, bruh. If you got to know me, you would know if I did or not. So I probably don't. Honestly, I probably don't. This dude just said weed right on my channel. Like, wow. I think we got an officer in here, people. What do y'all say? Officer, fight me. That sound like a real cop too. I'm gonna say something to this little prick. Why? So he can fight me. Then I can arrest him for assault after I kick his ass. Oh, I forgot to show y'all this shit. This right here is the funniest shit. Holy shit. Marijuana. What the fuck is that? This motherfucker ain't here speaking goddamn Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Marijuana. Oh my god, this dude is wildin', bro. I know he a narc. This motherfucker trying to goddamn ask me about drugs and then say some shit in Spanish. Watch out, man. Yo, I know everybody done seen this, right? So this white dude getting arrested. You gotta listen to what he say. Yo, listen to what he say.
Don't beat me up, don't beat me up. Look it up. Oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Hey, look what they're doing. Oh, get the other side. I'm not
You're treating me like a fucking black person. I love it. I love it. Oh my God. I love it. Hey, don't get rough with me. Hey, you see what he's doing? Stop. Don't you do that. Help. Oh, you're treating me like a fucking black person. Oh my God. This is America. You know what I'm whipping up. You know what I'm whipping up. Yo, yo, just one more time, yo. I done watched this shit like 50, 100 times. I ain't gonna lie, yo. When the first time I see this bitch, bro, I laughed so hard I sat there and cried. Well, I cried laughing so hard, dog. Damn, bro, that shit had tears in my eye. I watched this shit back to back like 10 times.
I'm not. She's not hurt me. She's not hurt me. Once again, do not be rough with me. Look at that. Look at her. They're beating me up. Don't beat me up, you mother. Don't beat me up. Look at him. Oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's what they're doing. Oh, get the other side. I'm not listening. I'm supposed to be rough with me. You treat me like a black person. You're gonna get sprayed. You're gonna get sprayed. Release your hands. Put it behind your back.
Look,
You understand?
all that resisting, they didn't pummel him, they didn't beat him. He got warned about mace. You don't even see him getting mace. You're gonna get sprayed. You're gonna get sprayed. I'm warning you. Still never sprayed him. Nobody pulled their fucking billy clubs. Nobody tased him. He didn't get fucking shot in the fucking chest or nothing. And he sat there for, this ain't even the whole video. I went back and watched like the longer version. He sat there defiantly for a while. Like, what are you gonna do? Arrest me? Huh? Fucking genius? You can't do your fucking job? You fucking genius? Huh? You don't know the fucking law? You fucking genius? He kept egging this cop on and on and on. He's like, arrest me then. Do it. Arrest me then. And they went to grab, and that's when they went to grab him. Oh, he's like, oh, you see what they're doing? Oh my God. Oh my God. Help. Somebody, look. Oh, you're treating me like a fucking black person. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, that shit is too funny. Because they could see his hands, of course. That's why they didn't bludgeon him to death. Like that one Detroit, what it was? That wasn't Detroit, that was Boston. The one black cop beat the crap out of the other black dude. Like, he can see his hands clearly too. Man, pigs are pigs, man. You fucking pig, yo. I got everybody sharing this shit, yo. Like everybody's fucking reacting to this shit.
You gotta wait. Listen good. They gonna sing a song about what pain is for the wait. While we wait, listen good. Some of the truth to tell, some of the truth to tell. Not no more. Some of the truth to tell. Not no more. Take care of our war. And our children too. We have
Let me start showing that shit. Black man building armies and shit. Motherfuckers, that shit make motherfuckers nervous, bro. Motherfucking black Israelites. Motherfuckers building armies, boy. Motherfuckers making armies out here. Y'all watch out now. Imagine all of them armed to the teeth, legally. Militias up. That shit look crazy. Oh yeah. They say we ain't got that shit. And then the news, like, the day this shit happened, they say the local news footage covered it and said there was like a few hundred people out there. They ain't want to walk all the way down the street and around the corner and around the corner. They minimized that shit real heavy on the local news, and so that's why they put this one out. They said, for the haters that said that, who said it wasn't that many people there, and we edited the footage to make it appear so. Enjoy raw footage from the Memphis Milestone. IsraelUnite.org. Yeah, the Israelites, man. And the only thing is, like, that keeps me out of those movements is the religious aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would definitely join, like, more of, like, a Panther movement and align myself and associate myself with something like that. Like, even the Nation of Islam, like, I love what they do. You know what I'm saying? Self-efficient, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to goddamn depend on nobody. They got their own systems for everything. They built their own infrastructure. But it's still closely tied to a religion, you know? Yeah, because they only get one image of us, you know, whatever mass media the way they want to portray us to the world, that's the way the world fucking sees us, yo. And they don't see that unity, that strength, that organization, that camaraderie, that brotherhood, motherfucking nation building, nations with inside of a nation. You treat me like a fucking black person?
Proceed to motivate the American public for war by first provoking and then allowing a Japanese strike on American targets. This is not even a controversial idea. It was commonly understood and discussed.
Yeah, but and that's why they really had to do what they did in the mid and late '60s and take out the Southern Baptist church movement with Dr. King and eliminate Malcolm X, even though the Nation of Islam still survived because it was a strong organization before Malcolm even got there. He was just like the most prolific mouthpiece for the organization and got it much more attention. But he, even towards the end of his association with it, he distanced himself from the organization and even tried to expose certain aspects of the Nation of Islam. But either way, like, even then, it was the religious tensions that kind of kept certain civil rights leaders from having a deeper level of involvement with each other. And Malcolm X and Dr. King actually started to have conversations. They met one time in person, and they were going to set their religious differences aside in order to structure a larger movement, because they understood the same thing, you know what I'm saying, that religion is division, you know. And that's why even today, like, with, you know, even that strong unity of the Israelites is like, I'm so far from the Bible, dude. I believe what I believe, you know what I'm saying, and if the foundation of your unity is based on this book. I'm not getting down with that. You know what I'm saying? So many people base their shit off of that fucking book, man. Fuck that book.
And many in the Roosevelt administration at the time. Henry Stimson, the U.S. Secretary of War, noted in his diary that just the week before the attack, President Roosevelt had told him, "We were likely to be attacked perhaps as soon as next Monday," and then solicited Stimson's advice on how we should maneuver them, the Japanese, into the position of firing the first shot without allowing too much danger to ourselves. Around the same time, Roosevelt sent a message to all military commanders stating that the United States desires that Japan commit the first overt act. So how did FDR and his administration provoke the Japanese into attacking? In late 1940, Roosevelt ordered the United States fleet to be relocated from San Pedro to Pearl Harbor. The order incensed Admiral James Richardson, Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. fleet, who complained bitterly to FDR about the nonsensical decision. It left the fleet open to attack from every direction. It created a 2,000-mile-long supply chain that was vulnerable to disruption, and it packed the ships in together at Pearl Harbor, where they would be sitting ducks in the event of a bombing or torpedo raid. FDR, unable to counter these objections, went ahead with the plan and relieved Richardson of his command. Then, in June 1941, Secretary of the Interior Harold Ikes wrote a memo advising FDR to embargo Japanese oil in order to goad them into war. There might develop from the embargoing of oil to Japan such a situation as would make it not only possible, but easy to get into this war in an effective way. It followed 3 weeks later with an order seizing Japanese assets in America and effectively preventing Japan from purchasing much-needed American oil, which at that time accounted for 4/5 of Japanese oil imports. The provocations had their intended effect, and the Americans listened in on Japanese war preparations via radio. They received warnings of an imminent attack from diplomatic officials and military attachés. The attack was even predicted by the Honolulu Advertiser days before it happened. But all of these warnings were ignored. Even today, nearly 80 years after the events, new documents and memos continue to be found showing more warnings that Roosevelt and his administration deliberately ignored in the run-up to the attack. FDR got his wish. The Japanese attack was successful. 2,400 Americans died, and the nation, outraged, responded by rallying around the flag and jumping enthusiastically into war. But the Japanese themselves were no innocents when it came to lying their way into war. 10 years before Pearl Harbor, in 1931, Japan was looking for a pretext to invade Manchuria. On September 18th of that year, a lieutenant in the Imperial Japanese Army detonated a small amount of TNT along a Japanese-owned railway in the Manchurian city of Mukden. The act was blamed on Chinese dissidents and used to justify the invasion and occupation of Manchuria. When the lie was later exposed, Japan was diplomatically shunned and forced to withdraw from the League of Nations. The League of Nations fell apart precisely for its inability to prevent World War II. Its successor organization, the United Nations, engaged in its own war lies shortly after its creation to ensure that it would not meet the same fate. Or, waged under the UN flag and sold to the public as a virtuous mission to save the South from the North's communist aggression, was on its face a war that should never have happened. The division of Korea into North and South was not the organic decision of the Korean people, but a plan that originated in an article in 1944 in Foreign Affairs, the journal of the Council on Foreign Relations, which suggested dividing the country up and putting its administration in the hands of the Allies, including the Soviets. The newly founded UN put that plan into action in 1945. Korea was arbitrarily divided along the 38th parallel, with the US administering the South and the Soviet Union administering the North. The war itself, the organic result of decisions taken by the Korean people. In 1949, Owen Lattimore, a member of the Carnegie and Rockefeller-funded Institute for Pacific Relations and an advisor to the State Department on East Asian issues, wrote, "To do is let South Korea fall, but not to let it look as if we pushed it." Speech at the National Press Club the following year, Secretary of State Dean Acheson placed Korea outside of the U.S.'s defense perimeter of the Pacific, stating that any attack that took place outside of that perimeter would have to be dealt with under the Charter of the United Nations. As a green light, the North Koreans, heavily fortified and equipped with Soviet military aid, invaded the South. War began on June 27, 1950, when the UN Security Council passed a resolution calling for members to provide military assistance to restore international peace and security in the area. The Union, being a veto-wielding member of the Council, could have vetoed the resolution and prevented the UN from engaging in the war, but they abstained from the vote altogether. When General MacArthur, leading the UN forces, managed to repel the North right to the Chinese border, he was prevented from completing the mission by Truman, who would not authorize any operations north of the Soviet-held 38th parallel unless there was no chance of confrontation with either Chinese or Soviet forces. MacArthur, shocked by this development, wrote in a letter years later, "Limitation upon the utilization of available military force to repel an enemy attack has no precedent either in our own history or, so far as I know, in the history of the world." It clearly foreshadowed the tragic situation which has since developed and left me with a sense of shock I had never before experienced in a long life crammed with explosive reactions and momentous hazards. In the end, the bloody Korean conflict ended not with a peace deal, but a ceasefire. Not with the reunification of the Korean peninsula, but with the establishment of a demilitarized zone to keep them separated. Nearly 3 million civilians died during the fighting, and the country was torn to pieces, all in the name of a military action under the UN flag that should never have escalated into war in the first place. In August of 1964, President Johnson was preoccupied in finding an excuse to justify a formal escalation of American military involvement in Vietnam. That excuse came on August 2nd when the USS Maddox, a destroyer supposedly on a peaceful mission in international waters, reported a surprise attack from North Vietnamese torpedo boats in the Gulf of Tonkin. Just 2 days later, it reported another attack. Johnson responded by launching retaliatory strikes and signing the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, thus formally launching the Vietnam War. Years later, it was revealed that the story of the Maddox too had been a tissue of lies. The Maddox was not peacefully drifting near Vietnamese waters minding its own business. It was part of a covert electronic warfare campaign assisting the South Vietnamese in launching attacks on the North. It had not been attacked out of the blue on August 2nd as originally reported, but in fact had fired first. And, as even the NSA's own internal publication, made available to the public for the first time 40 years after the incident, concluded, the second attack on August 4th had never taken place at all. These were mere details, and just like the facts about the Lusitania and Pearl Harbor, these details were suppressed long enough for the event to have its intended effect, rallying the public for war. The Six-Day War in 1967 between Israel and Egypt, Syria, and Jordan is yet another example of a war which was justified for reasons that were later exposed as lies. When Israel launched an attack on Egypt's airfields on the morning of June 5th, they initially claimed that it was a defensive strike and that Egypt had struck first. But this was an easily proven lie, and the claim was quickly dropped. Next, they claimed that the attack was preemptive self-defense, and that Egypt and its Arab allies had been preparing to strike Israel. But multiple Israeli officials, including Yitzhak Rabin, later admitted that Egypt had not been preparing a war or even interested in one. And then, in the most outrageous incident of all, Israel attempted to get America involved in the war by attacking the USS Liberty, a U.S. technical research ship collecting electronic intelligence just outside Egypt's territorial waters at the time of the war. The attack, carried out by Israeli fighter jets and torpedo boats, was relentless. The Liberty was strafed and torpedoed repeatedly, with the crew sending distress messages and even hoisting a large American flag so there could be no doubt as to their identity. The Israeli attack was finally called off an hour and a half into the assault. Israel, caught in a blatant attempt to sink an American ship, offered an apology for mistaking the identity of the vessel. But it was no mistake. In 2007, The NSA declassified intercepts confirming that the Israelis knew they were attacking an American ship, not an Egyptian ship, as their cover story is maintained. Even mainstream historians now characterize Israel's attack on the Liberty as a daring ploy by Israel to fake an Egyptian attack on the American spy ship and thereby provide America with a reason to officially enter the war against Egypt. But the incident was soon memory hold, and to this day, the Six-Day War is portrayed as an act of preemptive self-defense by the valiant Israelis against the dastardly Arab aggressors. By the 1990s, the post-Vietnam public was growing increasingly wary of calls for war in far-flung corners of the world in countries many had never heard of. And so it was that in 1990, when the politicians and their deep state controllers required the American public to be motivated to wage war against Iraq for its invasion of Kuwait, they hired a literal PR firm to sell an even more brazen set of lies to Joe Sixpack and Jane Soccer Mom. The most famous of these lies revolved around Nayirah, a young Kuwaiti girl who sparked international headlines for her shocking testimony before the Congressional Human Rights Caucus in October 1990. In a tear-stained speech, she told a harrowing story of the horrors she witnessed being committed by Iraqi soldiers at a Kuwaiti hospital where she was volunteering.
The second week after invasion, I volunteered at the Al-Adan hospital with 12 other women who wanted to help as well. I was the youngest volunteer. The other women were from 20 to 30 years old. While I was there, I saw the Iraqi soldiers come into the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators. Took the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor.
It's difficult today to understand just how important this testimony was in setting the tone of the debate about whether America should commit military forces to defend Kuwait. It was reported breathlessly on the evening news, and it was repeated by President Bush on not one or two occasions, but 6 separate times in the lead-up to war.
Babies pulled from incubators and scattered like firewood across the floor. And they had kids in incubators, and they were thrown out of the incubators so that Kuwait could be systematically dismantled.
When the Gulf War resolution was making its way through the House,
there were no
the incubator story was raised in Congress.
Yeah.
Now is the time to check the aggression of this ruthless dictator whose troops have bayoneted pregnant women and have ripped babies from their incubators in Kuwait.
Again in the Senate. The vote passed, and combat operations formally began in January 1991. The only problem? Was not some anonymous Kuwaiti girl, but, as a subsequent CBC investigation discovered, she was Nayirah al-Saba, daughter of Saud al-Saba, the Kuwaiti ambassador to the United States. Her testimony had been written for her by Hill & Knowlton, a PR company hired by the Kuwaiti government-supported AstroTurf organization, the Citizens for a Free Kuwait, to help sell the Gulf War. Congressional Human Rights Caucus that held the hearing where Nayirah gave her testimony was later found to be a Hill & Knowlton front itself. As everyone knows by now, the second Gulf War in 2003 was also built on lies. We all remember the lies about Saddam's WMDs and the way that story was sold to the public by Colin Powell at the UN. But this time, the media took the driver's seat in the campaign to sell the war to the public. The New York Times led the way with Judith Miller's now infamous reporting on the Iraqi WMD story, now known to have been based on false information from untrustworthy sources. But the rest of the media quickly fell into line,
I'm not exactly
with the
sure
NBC
who this
Nightly
is.
News asking, what precise threat Iraq and its weapons of mass destruction pose to America, and Time debating whether Hussein was making a good faith effort to disarm Iraq's weapons of mass destruction. Reports about chemical weapon stashes were reported on before they were confirmed, although headlines boldly asserted their existence as indisputable fact. And any media personality that showed skepticism about the claims being made, even wildly popular ones like Phil Donahue, host of MSNBC's then highest-rated program, were summarily removed from the air.
Is here, and so is Ambassador Buck.
You had Scott Ritter, former weapons inspector, who was saying that if we invade, it'll be a historic blunder.
Yes, but we didn't have him alone. He had to be there with someone else who supported the war. In other words, you couldn't have Scott Ritter alone. You could have Richard Perle alone.
You could have the conservative.
You could have the supporters of the president alone. And they would say why this war is important. You couldn't have a dissenter alone. Our producers were instructed to feature 2 conservatives for every liberal.
You're kidding.
No, this is absolutely
instructed from above?
Yes.
That in fact the stockpiles did not exist, and the administration premeditatedly lied the country into yet another war. But the most intense opposition the Bush administration ever received over this documented war crime was some polite correction on the Sunday political talk show circuit.
You and a few other critics are the only people I've heard use the phrase immediate threat. I didn't. The president didn't. And it's become kind of folklore that that's what's happened. The president went...
You're saying that nobody in the administration said that?
I can't speak for nobody, everybody in the administration, and say nobody said that.
Vice President didn't say that?
If you have any citations, I'd like to see them.
We have here says some have argued that this is you speaking. Some have argued that the nuclear threat from Iraq is not imminent. That Saddam is at least 5 to 7 years away from having nuclear weapons. I would not be so certain.
Mm-hmm. And
close to imminent.
Well,
yeah, you got it right.
I've tried to be precise and I've tried to be accurate.
No terrorist state poses a greater or more immediate threat to the security of our people.
I might have to subscribe to this
the regime of Saddam Hussein in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
The WMD story blew up in the neocons' face shortly after the war, but by that time they had already succeeded in their plan to reshape the Middle East. But for the would-be controllers of public opinion, a valuable lesson was learned. Human rights and protecting the innocent is a more effective lie to sell to the public to motivate them for war. In time to sell the war on Libya to the public, the UN-backed, NATO-led aggressors once again donned the cloak of human rights by turning to none other than the UN's Human Rights Council. The process that launched the intervention was begun by a coalition of 70 non-governmental organizations, which issued a joint letter urging the UN to suspend Libya from the Human Rights Council, and for the Security Council to invoke the so-called responsibility to protect principle in protecting the Libyan people from alleged atrocities being committed by the Libyan government. In a special session on the issue on February 25, 2011, the UN Human Rights Council adopted a resolution affirming the NGO's recommendations. The resolution was adopted without a vote. Security Council immediately passed resolutions 1970 and 1973, authorizing the establishment of a no-fly zone on Libyan military aviation for the protection of civilians and the delivery of humanitarian assistance.
See that.
3 days later, using the resolution...
I mean, it's a lot of stuff I already know, but I like how he has it in a really concise, like little package like this. He's knocking these facts out like back to back to back to back to back. He's wasting no time. Like every sentence is like full of facts real quick. Dates, personnel, times. I like shit like that. I'm gonna see what else he got. I might be able to, learn some new shit. Got a new source.
As its justification, the US, UK, and France began bombing the population of Libya. Meanwhile, the International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor, Luis Moreno Ocampo, began working on the legal basis for the invasion. He drafted the request for the court's judges to issue an arrest warrant for Gaddafi for crimes against humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Although NATO forces were already engaged in an invasion of the country on the basis of undocumented allegations by a group of NGOs, Moreno Ocampo's request was not issued until May 16th.
And Gaddafi said he was going to stop his nuclear program.
28th, the day after the judges agreed to issue the warrant, Moreno Ocampo participated in a press conference in which one reporter asked about the evidence that Gaddafi had ever engaged in the atrocities he was accused of.
I advise you to read the application of the prosecutor's office, many pages, I think it was 77 pages. We describe in detail the facts, most of it is public. And the judges also decided analyzing the evidence. So, of course, we are prosecutors and judges, so we rely on facts. So we prove the crimes. That's what we did.
The document that Moreno Ocampo urges the public to read to understand the evidence of Gaddafi's crimes is indeed public, and is 77 pages long. The version made available to the public has been heavily redacted. In fact, of the 77 pages, 54 of them have been redacted, comprising the entire section of the document dealing with the evidence for the charges themselves. The most sickening part of this war lie is just how obvious it was. No one involved in this charade cared about the well-being of the Libyan people. Not the press, not the politicians, not the ICC prosecutors. And as a result, today, 7 years after the destruction of Libya at the hands of the United Nations-sanctioned NATO saviors, open-air slave markets are running in the country that the human rights crusaders once pretended to care about. False flags, provocateur conflicts, fake news, and fake human rights crusades. Throughout the last century, a host of methods have been employed to keep the public playing the military-industrial complex's game. And over that century, the blood of untold millions has flowed as a direct result of these war lies. Truth is the first casualty of war, as they say. But if we desire peace, then we must confront the liars with our knowledge of these war lies. And armed with this truth, the public finally stands a chance of stopping the next war before the warmongers can conjure it into existence.
You're listening to the Corbett Report.
Al-Qaeda terrorists, September the 11th.
Al-Qaeda, 9/11 hijackers,
Jihadist, terrorist organizations.
terror attack,
Bin Laden,
September 11th,
The self-confessed mastermind.
Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda.
Terrible new terrorist organization.
September 11th.
Our enemy is a radical network of terrorists and every government that supports them.
Forget for one moment everything you've been told about September 11th, 2001. Instead, let's ask ourselves one question. What was 9/11? A terrorist atrocity? An attack on America? The first salvo in a new war? A day that changed everything? The question may seem simple, but how we answer it is of vital importance. It determines how we proceed with our investigation of that day. And once you strip away the emotional rhetoric and the fear-inducing imagery, we're left with the simple truth. 9/11 was a crime. And as with any crime, there is one overriding imperative that detectives must follow to identify the perpetrators. Follow the money. This is an investigation of the 9/11 money trail. In 1998, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey agreed to privatize the World Trade Center, the complex of office towers in Lower Manhattan that they had owned and operated since their construction in 1973.
With you in a little while, man.
In April 2001, an agreement was reached with a consortium of investors led by Silverstein Properties, and on July 24, 2001, Larry Silverstein, who already owned World Trade Center Building 7, signed a 99-year lease for the Twin Towers and Buildings 4 and 5. The lease was for $3.2 billion and was financed by a bridge loan from GMAC, the commercial mortgage arm of General Motors, as well as $111 million from Lloyd Goldman and Joseph Kerr, individual real estate investors. Silverstein Properties only put down $14 million of its own money. Unusual in a variety of ways. Although the Port Authority carried only $1.5 billion of insurance coverage on the WTC complex, which earlier that year had been valued at $1.2 billion.
I did re-download it recently, so I think I have all the updates on there. And I don't know, man. I be trying to play something else other than Ghost Recon, because I do have a couple other games that I could play, but I just don't play this shit. And yeah, so maybe like I think last month I played GTA for a couple hours, and really ain't do shit on there. But I wouldn't mind like trying to run some heists that I haven't ran. I mean, there's so much content on that shit. It's still absolutely brand new to me. So I'll be willing to play that shit if I got some homies where we can get in a nice squad without a bunch of randoms jumping in and killing motherfuckers. That's what be killing it for me, man. Motherfuckers just random just fucking your game experience up. Once again, that's why I say online don't necessarily make the game better for me. GTA 5, I love the storyline. Pre-ordered that shit, had that shit day one, took a day off work, played that shit for like 16 hours, man. I beat that game so fast, yo. And then it's like online, it's like, yeah, nah, not really. It's alright. So, I'm pretty sure it should be. That's your same game tag, right? Damn, I'm getting hungry now, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Feel that beast, that motherfucker starting to talk, boy. Damn, that's crazy. I mean, but gamers should already know that now, man. Launch days, them shits don't never go good, yo. Never. Them shits don't work right. Out of all those fucking beta testing they be doing, closed alpha testing and everything, man. And then early releases, they, you know, once them servers get up and running for everybody, and everybody try to log on to that shit, man, crash, crash, crash. And Sony said that's why they started charging us for online, so they, you know, better server maintenance. Crash, crash, crash. I'm about to see what my girl want to do about some food. She want to cook or go grab something. Oh, matter of fact, bro, I got some fish in there. Man, one of my homies put me on the goddamn on the Black Man Hood store. Oh my god, yo, this shit called Flavors of West Side. It's like a little corner store, you know what I'm saying? You go there, get all your little corner store treats, whatever, your sodas, your snacks, your blunts and cigarettes and all that good shit. But then they cook in the back. Bruh. Yeah, I be hitting their ass up for they fish plates. Oh my god. Tastes like my grandma cooked that shit, bro. Man, first time I tried it, my man, he was like, yo, you gotta try that shit, man. You gotta try it. I'm like, bruh, I don't eat a lot of fried food, man. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna eat some shit, man, that shit gotta taste. Next time I go there, I'm gonna ask these motherfuckers, what part of the South y'all from? Cause I'm in Pennsylvania. Them black people ain't from around here, man. Them motherfuckers from the South somewhere, cooking like that. My first time I tried that fish, god damn, bro. I damn near bit my goddamn tongue. Damn, that shit good as fuck. I ain't lying. Not Namco. Oh shit. Alright, good. So that means I can ignore that friend request for like 2 weeks before I accept it. I'm fucking with you. I'll only ignore that shit for like a week, probably. And no lie, I got like fucking... I got like 410 friend requests. I already got like over 600 friends, yeah, on PlayStation. And only play games with like 15 people. Motherfuckers don't be playing games. They say they gamers, but they not the old heads. And then like there are a couple young guys I can game with. But then I'm a talker. Y'all know I like to talk. I be wanting to talk playing the game too, man. Some motherfuckers I just ain't got shit in common. Can't even hold conversations with y'all mofos, man. Shit, I know we playing the games, but damn. I like talking too. Y'all ain't got no kids? Oh man, we ain't even, yeah, I can see we ain't in the same generation. Alright, I'm about to pull up out of here in a minute. What it is? Damn, 5 minutes. Let me get these 5 minutes in here. Even that shit out. I like even numbers, man. Even numbers. Easy to remember. Yeah, I got to get up out of here, though. Do something about this Honda. Ooh. Alright, I got you. I get around too. Ooh, the skin's starting to look good. Next, you got all them little baby hairs right there. All them little pretty baby hairs. I'll put those on there next. Alright guys, I'm about to go eat. Peace.